Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment, where we love pop culture. Today, it's time for another TV show review. Now for this one, we're definitely gonna have to use our time machine, and we're gonna go back to the past to 1992 as we take a look at the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures TV series. Now, honestly, I don't even remember this TV show ever being on TV. Now, I don't know if that's just such a bad thing that I maybe saw a couple episodes and I blocked it out of my mind, but you know what? It's 2020 and we're gonna go into this with a fresh approach, and we're gonna take a look at the entire series, all 8 episodes, and give it an honest review. Now, was this series wrongfully terminated, or does it belong in the past? Let's get on with the review. Over these 8 episodes, Bill and Ted will do what they do best, and that's fire up their phone booth time machine, and will make sure that peace and harmony will reign into the future by keeping the Wild Stallions music alive. But unfortunately for this TV series, Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter, and George Carlin are nowhere to be found, and they're replaced by Evan Richard, who plays Bill, Christopher Kennedy, who plays Ted, and Rick Overton taking on the role as Rufus. Now, to give these actors some credit, I honestly think they did the best job possible they could with the material they were given. Episode 1 is the actual unaired pilot where Bill and Ted blow their $500 amp and won't be able to play at the dance and will be totally doomed. So in order for Bill and Ted to get this amp, they will have to do the unthinkable. They will have to go get a job. No way, dude! Now, Bill and Ted apply at a hardware store, but the overly annoying store manager tells them he'll hire them, but one of them has to take his daughter to the school dance. After Bill and Ted refuse to take the boss's muffin to the dance, that's when Rufus appears and tells the time travelers that if they don't play at this dance, it will be the end of the Wild Stallions and the future of mankind will take a most devious turn. You know what? I think it's worth the risk. Bill and Ted's plan is to go back 15 minutes and fix their mistake and agree to take the boss's muffin to the dance. But just as they're about to travel back, their antenna is hit by a frisbee, and when they try to time travel, they're sent back to the days of black and white, where they save a woman named Roxanne during the time when gangsters ruled the streets. I'm definitely going to give episode 1 some credit with at least the creative direction, that when Bill and Ted return with Roxanne to San Dimas, they actually have Roxanne still in black and white, living in their colorful present. Now, when I do my ratings on a scale of 1 to 10, if I give something a 5, that means it's straight average. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was just there. So as far as episode 1 goes, I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10. The story is fine, and as the episode ends, it looks like they could possibly build off the pilot. But unfortunately for this series, it hits its peak here in episode 1 and begins to spiral down at light speed. Throughout the rest of the series, Bill and Ted will have to travel back to medieval times in the episode Nail the Conquering Hero and have their own Sword in the Stone adventure. In the episode Destiny Babes, they will travel back to Madrid, Spain in 1782, where they will save Casanova from being slayed in a fencing match, all in the hopes that they will learn his techniques to try to score with the babes in their present time. Now, to be perfectly honest, there are no good episodes in this series, and there are a few episodes here that are just downright almost unwatchable. And the one that takes the cake for the worst episode in the series is the episode called As the Dude Turns. In this episode, Bill's mom is devastated when her favorite soap opera couple is on the verge of breaking up. It will be up to the Wild Stallions to convince the doctor to not become a woman as they transport themselves not through traditional time travel, but into a satellite and into the television program itself. And while not as bad as the episode As the Dude Turns, an honorable mention to the worst episode is the one called Honka Honka, Bill and Ted, where the Wild Stallions will travel back to Memphis in 1954. In this episode, Elvis gets rejected during an audition, and Bill and Ted will have to go and save Elvis's career, because without Elvis going on to become the king of rock and roll, the Wild Stallions won't have any inspiration, therefore there will be no band. Now, this is a tough one. Do we sacrifice Elvis's career for no Wild Stallions? I don't know. It's a really tough choice. To conclude the series, Bill and Ted are once again having trouble with school and go back to seek the advice of Albert Einstein. Maybe instead of sending the Wild Stallions to bother Einstein, they should have sent the people who thought the show was a good idea to seek out creative direction for this series. Now, while this definitely wouldn't have saved the show, but I think the time slot that they put Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, well, they doomed it from the beginning. While I couldn't pinpoint an exact time, they teased Married with Children coming on later, so I'm guessing it was Sunday evening on Fox. This show would have been much more appropriate going after a Saturday morning audience than a Sunday evening. Now, do I recommend you guys checking out Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure TV series? Absolutely not. This show is so bad in the way that it's just grab the TV remote, change the channel, and forget you ever watched it type of bad. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures TV show a 2 out of 10. And the only reason it's getting a 2 out of 10 is because I actually appreciated the first episode and their creative direction, but after that, this series just goes all downhill. It's one of the worst TV shows I've ever watched. And yes, I did watch all 8 episodes. It took about 3 hours of total time, and it actually took me 8 days to watch this TV series because honestly, I could only stomach 1 episode at a time. It's that cringy and it's that bad, and it's a TV series I'll never watch again. Now, have you guys ever watched this TV series, and what were your thoughts? Leave me a comment below, and guys, if you like videos like this, make sure you subscribe here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.